What if I told you that every limitation you believe in, every excuse you repeat, and every fear that holds you back isn't real? It's just your mind playing tricks on you. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are not commands but choices, and every single day you get to decide which ones you obey. The truth is, most people never learn how to control their minds, so they become slaves to emotions, distractions, and doubts. But not you. Tonight, you're going to discover how to take back control, how to command your own thoughts, and how to win. The greatest battles we fight are not against enemies outside. It is the war inside our own heads. Every decision, every action, every success or failure begins first as a thought. And yet, how many of us live as if we are victims of our thoughts, believing whatever our mind whispers, reacting without awareness, drifting without direction? The truth is, the mind is like a wild horse, powerful, unstoppable, but dangerous if left untamed. If you do not hold the reins, it will carry you to places you never wanted to go. But once you learn to master it, you can ride it to any destiny you choose. Think about it. Everything you admire in great leaders, innovators, or athletes begins with mental control. They didn't get there because their path was easy. They got there because they trained their minds not to break under pressure, not to drown in fear, not to surrender to doubt. The human mind has unlimited potential, but without control, it is also the greatest source of self-destruction. The mind can build an empire, or it can burn your life down. Which side it chooses depends on whether you take control or let it control you. Control does not mean suppression. It doesn't mean pretending emotions don't exist. It means directing them, mastering them, turning them into fuel instead of chains. Anger can destroy you, or it can drive you to greatness. Fear can paralyze you, or it can sharpen your focus. Discipline can feel like suffering, or it can give you freedom. Everything depends on who is in charge, you or your unchecked impulses. The reason most people fail to change their lives is not because they lack opportunity, resources, or talent. It's because they never learn how to control their minds. They chase quick highs, they give in to distractions, they believe their doubts more than their dreams, and slowly, without realizing it, they hand over the steering wheel of their lives to fear, comfort, and laziness. But imagine if you took it back. Imagine what would happen if, from this day forward, your thoughts no longer dictated your fate. You did. That is the art of controlling your mind, and tonight, you are going to learn how. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess, yet most people treat it as if it were a master instead of a servant. They let it wander without direction, believe every thought that passes through it, and then wonder why their lives feel out of control. But here's the truth. Your mind is not a prison. It is a weapon, a compass, a creator. The problem is not that your mind is against you. The problem is that you haven't yet learned how to use it. Every action you take is born first in thought. Before you speak, you think. Before you quit, you think. Before you achieve, you think. The mind is the architect of destiny, shaping your reality long before you see it. If your inner dialogue is poisoned with doubt, fear, and negativity, then your outer reality will reflect that. But if you master your mind, if you learn to program it with clarity, focus, and resilience, you create a life that bends to your vision instead of breaking under your weakness. Think about it this way. Two people can face the same situation, yet one will see opportunity while the other sees disaster. One will grow while the other shrinks. The difference is not the external event, it is the interpretation of the mind. The lens you look through determines the life you see. If your mind constantly whispers that you are not enough, not ready, not capable, then you will hesitate, you will retreat, you will live small. But if you train your mind to say, "This is possible, this is my moment, I am capable," then even when fear knocks, you will move forward. Control begins with awareness. Most people live on autopilot, consumed by thoughts they never question. A single negative thought appears and they accept it as truth. But not every thought is true. In fact, most thoughts are nothing more than echoes of past conditioning, memories, or fears. To control your mind, you must first step back and observe it. Notice what it is telling you. Separate the voice of your higher self from the noise of your fears. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is this thought moving me closer to my goals or pulling me away? When you begin to ask these questions, you reclaim authority. You start realizing that you don't have to obey every thought. You don't have to let your doubts dehole. At the end of the day, controlling your mind is not just a skill. It is the foundation of everything you will ever achieve. Money, success, relationships, peace, power, happiness. None of these can last if your mind is in chaos. Your thoughts are the soil, and your life is the harvest. If the soil is poisoned, no matter what you plant, it will not grow. But if the soil is rich, disciplined, and nourished, then even the smallest seed can become a mighty tree. That is why the battle of life is not fought outside. It is won or lost inside. Understand this, your mind is not against you. It has never been your enemy. It is simply a tool waiting for a master. A knife in the hands of a surgeon saves lives, but in the hands of a careless person, it destroys. Fire can cook a meal or burn down a house. Your mind works the same way. Uncontrolled, it can destroy everything you've built. Controlled, it can create miracles you never imagined. But here's the truth many people don't want to hear. Mastering your mind requires responsibility. It is easier to blame circumstances, to say life is unfair, to claim that destiny is against you. It is harder to look in the mirror and admit that the only enemy is within. But the moment you accept this, the moment you claim full responsibility for your inner world, you step into a level of power that cannot be taken from you. External factors can change, people can betray you, opportunities can vanish. But if your mind is unshakable, you will rise again and again. Think of the people you admire most, the ones who broke barriers, built empires, or left legacies that outlived them. What set them apart? Was it luck? Was it talent? Was it privilege? No. It was the strength of their mind. They controlled their focus when others gave in to distraction. They silenced their doubts when others surrendered to fear. They acted with courage while others froze in hesitation. And because they mastered their inner world, the outer world eventually bowed to them. And now it is your turn. You have within you the same power, the same ability to command your mind, to direct your thoughts, to build your destiny. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop telling yourself that you will change when life gets easier. Life will never get easier. You must get stronger. The storm will not stop. You must learn to sail through it. The obstacles will not vanish. You must rise above them. And the key to all of this is not outside, but inside your mind. So, what will you do? Will you remain a prisoner to fear, to laziness, to doubt, to distraction? Or will you take back control and say, I command my thoughts. I am not a victim of my emotions. I am the master of my mind, and therefore I am the master of my life. That choice, that decision, is the line that separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. When you walk out from this moment, I want you to remember one thing. Your future is shaped not by chance, not by luck, not by fate, but by your mind. If you can control it, nothing can stop you. If you neglect it, nothing can save you. Control your thoughts, and you will control your destiny. That is the power you carry. That is the power you must claim. So rise up, take the reins, and become the master of your mind. Because the greatest freedom in life is not found in the world outside, it is found in the power to control the world within.